Where does that come from? There are other people who, having the same set of circumstances you did, would have said, I'm going to be a leader by making the spectacular speech. I'm going to be a leader by, pointing my fingers at people. I'm going to be a leader by calling other people's names.
Right.
Where does that difference in you come from?
I've often asked myself that question, and I look back. It had to be around my breakfast table. It had to be in my home. My mother and father, there was like a big difference. My dad was almost 19 years older than my mother. My mother was his second wife. His first wife having died. I didn't know his first wife, but even to this day, my dad's first wife's family and I are very close. My mother was close to his first wife's family. There was always this atmosphere maintained that I thought was conducive to getting things done, conducive to getting along with people. There was never, I've heard tones of disagreement between my mother and my father. I never heard what one would call an argument. I would see my dad stop talking. And I think, and this is maybe strange, I think that a tremendous impact on me came from my father-in-law. Emily and I have been married now for 43 years. When I first started just visiting and having dinner with her parents, her mother is very verbose and very opinionated. Dad was always very quiet but steely, and he would listen. And then finally he would say, "Oh, Matty, be quiet." And he would just walk away. Matty would be quiet. So I learned from him. I used to watch him all the time. We called him PJ. And I learned from him that really, if you let people say what they've got to say, listen. And there's a way to get them to do what you want done, or to get done what you want to do without insulting them and without being too harsh. And so I get angry sometimes, but I try hard to control it.
I read about a comparison you made between yourself and Maxine Waters. You said, when I need to be, I can be articulate. When I need to, I can get on your case. So you can do the other thing. You can operate in that other way.
Yeah.
But yet you chose and choose today to operate in this non-confrontational, conciliatory way. And you think that came from family?
That came from family. Maxine and I play off each other very well. She comes to me now and says, "Look, Clyburn, you need to do this." And she'll tell me why, and it's basically that. And I sometimes go to her and says, "Hey, you need to do this." So it's kind of interesting. But, I mean, I owe her a lot. It's kind of, when I first came up, I became chair of our annual legislative conference in my 4th year up here, and Maxine appointed me. And the day she appointed me, she said to me, she says, "You like to run things, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's my first elective office. I've been running something all my life." She said, "Well, I'm going to put you in charge of the annual legislative conference." And I did that for 2 years. And so when I got elected chair of the caucus, it was because of the way I managed that. And the way people had problems. You can imagine having that annual legislative conference, people got problems over where my table is and all this kind of stuff. And you take care of all of that. And I got elected chair of the caucus unanimously. And it was because everybody felt that I solve their problems. It's the problem solving. I mean, I could have easily said to people, well, that's where your table is, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or that's what I'm doing, and that's it. No, I've always tried to address it. And I try to do it in such a way that even if I'm going to say no or not do what they want done, at least they don't go away mad.